Oh, man.
I'm not a media organisation that has the power to change millions of lives, that has a vested interest in corporate power, that comes from a corporate mindset, that is part of the machine that oppresses people.
But what do you expect? Brand's a victim of arrested development. He's just getting to that undergrad lusting for revolution phase. The dope just can't wait for the government to impose his version of utopia.
I wouldn't be waiting for the government to do it. They're our chiefest opponents in the endeavour. I'm not just reaching a revolutionary phase. This is an entrenchant ideology that belongs to people from my background and is rising all over the world in the face of Fox News. And look at the way that they talk. When anyone countenances their argument, look how angry they get. Look how frightened they are, because their brittle power structures can easily be overwhelmed and undermined when we bond together.
I'd say this is the worst thing Brand has ever done. But then again, I saw Arthur.
That was really bad.
Arthur is a terrible movie. You know, no wonder, Kimberly, Katy Perry says she doesn't need a man. After marriage to Brand, who would want one?
They're really taking a lot of time to do this. This is the news. Like, I've not had time to research Greg's background, and this is like a thing I'm doing like on YouTube. This is like the properly, hello, welcome to the news. Remember when you were a kid? Hello, here's the news at 10. This is the news. He's gone, right, now what else has he done, this bastard?
Oh, he's the cure, let me tell you. You'd be like, whoa, I'm staying away from that
He didn't even call her when he wanted a divorce. He texted it to her.
It's kind of extraordinary this is allowed. The deification and the canonization of the trivial, the ugly, and the mundane. This is a venom factory.
He's such a hypocrite, because this is a guy preaching revolution from the back seat of a limo, like he can relate and understand, and then mocks people who are actually just covering the news.
That's just a way of prohibiting the argument. They'll do anything to keep these subjects off the agenda. Police brutality, inequality. They'll do anything within their power to prevent the truth reaching you. I've got no vested interest. As they have pointed out themselves, I'm a person that if there's a more equal society, I'll have less money. So what possible motivation could I have?
You know what bugs me, Andrea? 10 years ago, I loved this guy. I used to host a show called Big Brother's Big Mouth in England.
How's that getting mentioned on Fox News? I mean, I love Big Brother's Big Mouth. That was good broadcasting.
But then something happened, and I think it's the Arrested Development. He developed fake intelligence that you often see.
I look forward to the day when you discover intelligence, Greg.
In a freshman at college, where you think you have all the answers, and it's like you just discovered it, and it's so exciting and new, and everybody's going, you're almost 40, dude.
Yeah, that's why they call them sophomores, because in Greek it means wise fool. You get a little bit of knowledge under your belt after your freshman year, and then you're a sophomore.
My proudest achievement so far is I've actually made Fox News convey some information there. We've at least learned the definition of a word, something you don't typically expect from this outlet.
I did not know who Russell Brand was until you told me that he actually had a career before he married Katy Perry.
Yes, he did.
I only knew he was like a drug addict, sex addict, loser.
Yeah.
Drug addiction is a disease. I mean, like, I can take a little bit of criticism, particularly from some quarters. But like, what about the countless millions of other people blighted by the disease of addiction that are casually being condemned? People that are criminalised and imprisoned. Prisons across the United States and America filled with drug users who happen to be disproportionately from a certain community that Fox News tacitly and frequently condemns. Those people too are dragged down by your callous use of language. It's good that you looked up the word sophomore. Take a little more time with the dictionary.
But ideology has twisted his brain.
His brain's been twisted by an ideology that seems to be based on fairness.
But he turned angry at some point. At some point, he flipped. Some switch flipped in his mind, and he became angry. He's angry at Fox. He's angry at capitalism. He's angry at America.
He got sober.
Right. Well, I don't know what it is.
He got sober.
You're right, actually. I am angry at Fox and capitalism because these institutions are contributing to the deterioration of our planet. I'm going to give you some factual information that might be helpful for you to understand Fox News. But these people, there's no point criticising them on a personal level. They're basically beautiful people, basically. A study by Media Matters for America found that between August 1st and October 1st, 2013 on Fox News, 75% of mentions of climate science cast doubt on it as a possibility. In 2012, the Union of Concerned Scientists found that 93% of global warming coverage by Fox News was misleading. The misleading statements identified in the report included dismissals of human-caused climate change, disparaging comments about individual scientists, rejections of climate science as a body of knowledge, and cherry-picking of data. That's what they do all the time. Right now, here's some information. Rupert Murdoch, you sort of think, oh, why are they doing that? Why would they present information in that way? Rupert Murdoch has stakes in Shell Oil Company, LLC. Oh, an energy giant. Studies also show that Fox News and Murdoch-owned news outlets generally support US military action against Syria. They do not inform viewers and readers that Mr. Murdoch has a vested interest in a war in Syria. Rupert Murdoch is a part owner of an Israeli-American company that has been granted the rights to explore for oil on the Golan Heights, Israeli-occupied Syrian land. It's highly unethical for Fox News not to disclose this information to its viewers. So, Fox News lies about climate change. Rupert Murdoch is an investor in a shale gas and energy giant, LLC. Rupert Murdoch would personally benefit from there being a war in Syria. Fox News supports war in Syria. Dick Cheney, the former Vice President of the United States, is also on the board of LLC. So you see there's a relationship between republicanism, American neoconservatism, and the energy-based wars in the Middle East that Fox News supports, and as well as their more general support of the repression of people. Any uprising, as we've witnessed in Ferguson, they have to condemn that, because that is the threat to this mentality. When people come together and confront corporate power and state power, that's the beginning of the end for these organisations. What they're dealing with is something that's really serious. In June 2010, News Corporation, Rupert Murdoch's company, donated $1 million to the Republican Governors Association. So, that's a sort of a clear and obvious tie between republicanism, that's the sort of the neoconservative ideology that this lot are into, and Rupert Murdoch. But more obviously, it's a cultural, tribal, ideological bond, and probably deep corporate and financial relationships that mean that their coverage of the news is constantly biased. And me, just a person with a laptop and a mate and a camera, they have to come down hard on this stuff. And in it, they'll drag down anything that sort of perceived kind of lasciviousness, history as a drug addict, lack of education. They'll attack anything, because what they know is what you know, is that ordinary people, if we communicate, if we're honest, we can destroy this nonsense and move forward. Because eventually, why would we continue to cooperate with a system that oppresses us and exploits us? Why would we continue to cooperate? There'll be more and more examples of unrest. There'll be more and more disturbances. There'll be more and more fear and prejudice from Fox News. But ultimately, Greg and the Fox News Furious 5, or whatever the hell you were called when you used to train that panda, you will ultimately lose. That is the truth.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Truths is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some truths. Let's have some truths.